Only the break could have been longer. Same drill, Reshma, that you have access to everything you need. Okay.
Yep.
Awesome. Let me set up the score sheet. Y'all might need to give me just a couple minutes. I'm trying to take care of something else, but we should still start on time.
That's okay. Okay. If you need me to present and share, I can do that. I had to do that for the second round yesterday.
Got it. Okay. I think we should be okay, but I'll let you know. Thanks.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'll go ahead and admit everyone. If y'all are good with that. Cool.
Yep.
Oh, fancy seeing you guys here.
Judge and in there, everyone. We're super excited to have you all with us today. And we ask that you just give us a couple of minutes while everyone filters into the room and we get every member from each team here. Seeing a lot of familiar faces, which is nice. Don't worry, it's your last game of the day, hopefully. So
Harshita, if I can make a request, since it is the third game in like quick succession, if maybe we could just do like 10 seconds of a quick breathe in once everyone joins.
Yeah, for sure. We have the time.
Just 10
I know,
seconds.
super tense. Give yourselves a chance to relax a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
As you're coming in, just a reminder to please rename yourself so you have your son initials prior to your first and last name so we can easily identify you.
Harshita, if I may, of course, English is not my first language, but many of our team members, they felt you are going too fast, like compared to other moderator we had yesterday. If you can slow down, and that will help, particularly in multi-part question. It will help all the students writing down what you are asking in which order and in which order they need to answer. So if you don't mind, please slow down and speak little bit more clearly.
No, of course, I can 100% do that. I'll keep that in mind.
Thank you, Harshita. I appreciate your willingness to listen to.
Of course. Want to make this the best experience for the kids, but I will keep that in mind.
I think we have everyone. If the coaches just want to verify that you're not missing anybody, and Harshita, if you're good, and Priya, if you're good, we can go
We're
through.
still missing 2 players. We're missing 1 player.
Well, Jill is there, but where is your camera, Jill? Okay. Okay. So we have all. We just have to select our players for the first round.
Sure.
We'll go ahead and
captain. We're missing our captain.
okay. We can wait.
Hershey's here. I think her audio is just not working. Hershey, can you hear us? Hershey?
Hershey, can you hear me?
She's there. Just can you give us a minute? We're working through some technical issues real quick.
Sounds good.
And Arna, are you there, beta?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, can you turn on your camera? Okay, Harshvi,
My
speak up.
camera is on.
I think there's 2. It just logged the other one out. Yeah, we had 2 Arnas in the room for a second. Okay, I think Harshvi's rejoining, and then Manith, if you also want to get your camera on when you get the chance.
Sure. I'm not in this round, so I was just.
Yeah, it's okay. For now, we can keep them on and we can get there afterwards. Just want to make sure everyone is behind their screens. Hershey.
Hershey, can you hear us?
Okay, so what we'll do is we will let her figure out how she can hop on the call with both video and audio. In the meantime, you all know the drill. We run through that standard introduction slide deck. And so let's do that, get that out of the way, and hopefully she'll be able to join us after that point. Does that sound good? Okay, let's do it. Jajinender again, everybody.
Hold on, Harshita, we have to line up our players because all of them are here.
Uncle, we'll revisit that after the introductory presentation before the start of round 1.
Okay.
Great. But yes, welcome once more to the 14th Jain Academic Bowl at the 21st Biennial JAINA Convention. My name is Harshita and I will be the moderator for this match. Our timekeeper will be Priya and scores will be maintained by our admin Siddharth. I'd first like to welcome our 2 competing teams, JSMC Hrim and JSMW-1 DC Chakras, to this virtual match. We hope that everyone is in good health, and although JAB is not what we expected this year, the team has worked super hard and put in a lot of hours to make it a reality, and so hopefully it's fun for you all. A quick run through of the guidelines to adhere to. We ask that you remain respectful and keep a friendly attitude during the match. Remember that no recording of any kind is allowed. JAINA holds all videography and photography rights. While JAB is online this year, that does not mean that assistance from external sources is allowed. So make sure to honestly participate in the match. And lastly, make sure to have a mobile device on hand for buzzing, which we'll get into during rounds 2 and 3. Participants, you know the drill as well, but the team captain should be wearing a hat so we can easily identify them.
Thank
Your
you.
names. Hello? Your names should be formatted as such, and I think most of you have this down, but it's your sung name and then your name. Make sure your headphones and mic are working, and we'll get a chance to test this before rounds 2 and 3 as well. And lastly, your video should be on and your audio should be unmuted at all times. Coaches, you should keep your videos off, please. And players, if you're not participating in a particular round, you can keep your camera and video, your camera and audio off during that time as well. A quick look into the game rules for the last time. There are 10 questions in round 1. There are no negative points, but there is partial credit. You get 7 seconds to answer. If the responding team doesn't correctly answer all parts, the other team can steal for a total or a maximum of half of the correct remaining points. In round 2, there are 15 questions, and it's the category round. There is buzzing in this question. Once the player buzzes in, they have 3 seconds to answer. Correct answers are worth either positive 20 or negative 20 points if they're incorrectly answered, and the first team, if they answer incorrectly, can have their question stolen by the second team, who can then either gain 10 points or lose 5 points, depending on their answer. In round 3, the grab back round also has 15 questions and is also a buzzer round. The buzzer will have 3 seconds to answer after logging in. Correct answers are worth 20 points, incorrect answers are worth -10, and if the second team chooses to steal, they can get positive 10 points or negative 5 points. As you know, we'll be using buzzin.live for rounds 2 and 3, but we will test that system once we get closer to those rounds. Before we get started, I will ask that our timekeeper begins with the Nakar mantra.
Namo Arihantanam, Namo Siddhanam, Namo Aryanam, Namo Uvajayanam, Namo Loye Savasahunam, Eso Panchanam Uppkaro, Sava Pava Panasano, Manglanam Cha Savesim, Padmam Havai Mangalam.
Thank you. And with that,
Harshvi, can you hear us?
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Great. With that, we're going to go ahead and get started. So I'm going to ask that team JSMC choose heads or tails.
We choose heads.
Let's flip that coin. Heads it is. JSMC, would you like to take or defer?
We would like to go second.
Sounds good. Team JSMC will be going second. So the first set of questions will be going to Team JSMW. We wish good luck to both teams. So prior to getting started, of course, let's go through and figure out who's playing on each team. Coaches take the chance to assign those folks, and all of you should have your cameras and audio on.
For Chicago, we're going to play Shreya, Riday, Gio, Haley, and Rushil.
Great. That is 5 cameras on for JSMC and JSMW. I'm going to assume that you have the right 5 up.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Okay. So with that, again, JSMC will be going second and JSMW will be going first. Let's get started. This is round 1, or the individual team round. There are 10 questions in this round for one team, and then the following 10 questions are for the other team. Each question is worth 20 points and partial credit will be awarded. Question 1 for Team JSMW. This is a 4-part math question. Take the number of Guptis. Multiply it by the number of Tirthankars whose names start with the letter A. Name the Papastanak, birthplace, mother, and dream with the corresponding number.
12, maybe. 12.
Does anyone know Pakistan?
Oh,
Please.
Okay, my final answer is Kalaha, Champapuri. The emblem would be buffalo, and the number, the Tirthankar is Vasupujaswamy.
That is Incorrect. Team
Sure, it's
JSMC
5. It's 15, like altogether. I defer,
Yeah.
Jill. So the Tirthankar would be Dharmanath, the symbol would be Vajra, the Papakstanak would be Ratyarati, and the dream would be Minugal.
That is incorrect as well. So team 1, the math works out so that it's 3 times 5 Tirthankars whose names start with the letter A for a total of 15. But the questions that we asked were Papastanik, birthplace, mother, and dream. And so since team 2 did not get the full question right in its entirety, no points will be awarded to either team. Moving on to question 2 for team JSMW.
What was the answer for that?
Sorry, yes. The answer would then be Papastanak would be Ratirati, birthplace would be Ratnapur, mother was Suvrata Devi, and dream was Minugal. Okay, question 2 for team JSMW. In the Indian language only, name the bhavna which states that we can find protection in the 4 entities.
Asharan. Okay, my final answer is Asharan Bhavna.
That is correct for 20 points. Question 3. This is an anagram. There was a gap of an inch. G for garden, A for apple, P for panda, A for apple, N for night, I for India, N for night, C for cat, and H for house.
Gnan Panchami.
My final answer is Nan Panchami.
That is incorrect. And because it is an anagram question, the other team does not have the chance to steal. The correct answer is Panchami. The clues that would have been given is first a ritual, and then Kamat was famous for performing this ritual. So again, the correct answer there is Panchami. No points will be awarded for that question. Question 4 for team JSMW. This is a 2-part question. In Jainism, knowledge is given tremendous importance. What is the song that is sung on the day to celebrate knowledge? Also state what Pad is recited on this day.
It's only I designate to lie.
Samkit Shraddhavantane Upanyu Gnana Prakash Pranamu Padagajate Hana Bhavadhari Ulas. And second part is Om Namananasa.
That is correct for 20 points. Question 5 for team JSMW. This is a 2-part question. Name any 2 Digambar Puja rituals that start with the letter P, as in panda.
Rakshalan and
Puja. My final answer is Rakshalan and Puja Praram.
That is correct for 20 points. Question 6 for team JSMW. Recite the stuti that reflects on the true qualities of our soul and talks about the reasons of bondage.
I designate to lie.
my final answer is Daya Shanti Samatakshama Satyatag Vairagya Hoy Mumukshu Ghatavishe Eha Sadaya Sujagya.
That is incorrect. Team JSMC, would you like to steal?
I defer to Viday.
Rag Dvesh Agnan E Mukhe Karmani Grant Thai Nivruti Jehati Tejai Mokhino Band.
That is correct for 10 points. Question 7 for team JSMW. This is a 2-part question. When Gautam Swami asks Bhagwan Mahavir, what is the nature of the soul? What was Bhagwan Mahavir's answer? And in which sutra are these questions and answers recorded?
Equanimity and Bhagavati, right? My final answer is he responded with equanimity and it is in the Bhagavati Sutra.
That is correct for 20 points.
Can we protest that?
Yep. So we can log in a protest from JSMC for question 7. Question 8 for team JSMW. This is a 2-part question. How many verses are in the Chattari Mangalik? Sing the middle verse, which praises the supreme entities.
I designate to lie.
Okay, so there are 3 verses, and the middle verse is Chattari lo Gautama, Arihanta lo Gautama, Siddha lo Gautama, Sadhu lo Gautama, Kevali Panato Dhammo lo Gautama.
That is correct for 20 points. Question 9 for Team JSMW. This is a two-part question. What is a Gadasnu also known as? Why should it be white in color?
Asan and it promotes peace.
Okay, my final answer is another name is Asan and it promotes peace.
That is correct for 20 points. Question 10 for Team JSMC. JSMW, my bad. Name a Shad Dravya in the Indian language that starts with the letter A.
My final answer is Adharmastika.
That is correct for 20 points. That concludes Team JSMW's individual team round. Now we will move on to JSMC's round. As a reminder, again, please all contestants have their mics unmuted. Whether or not you're on, you're playing for either team currently. So JAINA, Arna, if you can turn your mics on as well. Thank you. Okay, question 1 for Team JSMC. This is a 3-part math question. All the numbers are according to the dreams seen by the mother of Parshvanath. Take the number of the dream that indicated her son would be perfect in all virtues and divide it by the dream that indicated that her son would be strong. Take this number and add it to the dream that is the Lanchan of the 8th Tirthankar as well. Name the corresponding Tirthankar's name, mother's name, and color.
It's 10, I think,
It's
right?
5, right? Or it's 8
I got
altogether?
9. I got 9.
It's
I got
10
9.
altogether.
9.
9.
The answer is Suvidinath, and the mom is Srimati, and the color is white.
That is incorrect. Team JSMW, would you like to steal?
I designate to Kavya.
So it's Suvidinath, Rama Rani, and White.
That is correct for, quickly do the math. 13 points to the first team and 4 points to JSMW. So the reason for that is mother's name was either, was Ramadevi or Ramarani. So you will get points for that. And Team JSMC, you received 2 out of 3 parts correctly. The answer was 9 because it was 9, the 9th dream, which is the Kum, divided by the 3rd dream, which is the Siha, or the lion. So 3 plus 6 gives you the Chandra, which is dream 9. And the answers were according to that number. Moving on to question 2 for Team JSMC. In the Indian language only, name the bhavna that states that thinking about our attachment to ever-changing matter makes us aware of our futility and ignorance.
Anitya or Anyatwar.
The answer is Anitya.
That is incorrect. Team JSMW, would you like to steal?
Lok Swabhav.
My final answer is Lok Swabhav Bhavna.
That is correct for 10 points. Question 3 for Team JSMC. This is an anagram question. The hat by Muskan was special. H for hat, A for apple, T for truck, B for boy, Y for yo-yo, M for mango, and U for umbrella.
Like Dubium.
I think that's not.
No, it's not.
Clue 1. Clue 1. It's the starting word of a stuti.
Okay, yeah, it's Tubiam.
Dubium.
The answer is Dubium.
That is correct for 15 points. Question 4 for Team JSMC. In Jainism, Diwali is of utmost importance. What are the 2 phrases that people chant during Diwali that relate to Bhagwan Mahavir?
The answer is Sri Maraswami Sarvagya Nama and Sri Maraswami Pragyatya Nama.
That is incorrect. Team JSMW, would you like to steal?
My final answer is Sri Madhvaswami Sarvagnaya Namaha and Sri Madhvaswami Parangataya Namaha.
That is correct for 10 points. So
That's
the reason I gave it is because of the pronunciation of the words Sarvagnaya and Parangataya. Those were mispronounced by the first team.
Any protest?
We have
Yes.
protest.
We'll go ahead and put in a protest from JSMC for question 4.
How many points did you say we got?
10 points. And we will revisit that during the protest as well. Question 5 for team JSMC. This is a 2-part question. Name any 2 Digambar Puja rituals that start with the letter A as in Arihant.
The answer is Havan and Arti.
That is correct for 20 points.
I would like to protest that.
Sounds good. We will log in a protest on behalf of JSMW for question 5. Question 6 for team JSMC. Recite the stuti that reflects on the true qualities of the soul and talks about the 7 cardinal virtues.
I got it, I think.
It's Agnana, right?
No, I thought it's Dayashanti. It's Dayashanti.
The answer is Agnana Timarandam Shalakaya Netram Anmeltam Yana Tasmashi Granama.
That is incorrect. Team JSMW, would you like to steal?
I would like to designate to mine.
Final answer is Dayashanti Samatakshima Satyate Agvairagya Vaimumukshu Gatavisha Eha Sadaya Sujagya.
That is correct for 10 points. As a reminder, once the person who is speaking the final answer begins speaking, no one else should speak after that point. Question 7 for team JSMC. This is a 2-part question. Gautam Swami asks, what is the ultimate aim of the soul? What was Bhagwan Mahavir's answer? Acharya Kundakan used the question and answer and wrote it in which book?
It's Bhagavati again, and the ultimate is also equanimity.
The answer is the ultimate aim of the soul is equanimity, and Kundakunda wrote it in Samasar.
That is correct for 20 points. Question 8 for team JSMC. This is a 2-part question. How many prayers are in the Sadguru prayers? And sing the prayer that lists the admirable qualities of the holy teacher.
I think it's 3. But
3 and Atmagnan.
okay.
The answer is, and it's Atmagnana Samudrata Vichara Uday Prayog Apurva Vani Param Sadguru Lakshana Yog.
That is correct for 20 points.
Actually, protest.
I would like to protest.
Okay, we're going to put in a protest on behalf of JSMW for question 8. Question 9. This is a 2-part question. How long are the white strings of a Charavalo and what do they symbolize?
8 fingers, I'm pretty sure. And the
8 fingers in the
The answer is 8 fingers long, and it represents the 8 kurmas.
That is correct for 20 points.
I would like to protest that question too.
Okay, we're going to put in a protest on behalf of team JSMW for question 9. Question 10 for team JSMC. This is your final question of the individual team round. Name a tattva that starts with the letter A.
Ashraf.
The answer is Ashraf.
That is correct for 20 points. And with that, we conclude round 1 of the match. At this point, we're going to put you in breakout rooms for 2 minutes, during which you'll get a chance to address any protests you have, which we will then take a look at once you return.
Before we
we go in the breakout room, can you give the questions and for on JSMC side that we protested?
Yes,
And
we can
for
do that.
JSMW, please.
I was just going to ask. We can do it for both. Sid, if you can read me the question numbers, please. I can read out the questions and answers.
Yeah, of course. So Chicago protested question 7 for the beat set.
Question 7. The question was, this is a 2-part question. When Gautam Swami asks Bhagwan Mahavir, what is the nature of the soul? What was Bhagwan Mahavir's answer? In which sutra are these questions and answers recorded? The answer I have listed is that the nature of the soul is equanimity, and it's listed in the Bhagavati Sutra.
Okay, next.
Those were all the protests we had from Chicago. From DC, we had 4 protests. Question 5 for the next
Question
set.
5 was this is a 2-part question. Name any 2 Digambar Puja rituals that start with the letter P as in panda. And the answer as I have listed are Prakshal and Puja Praram.
I think we protested that for their team, not our team.
The next team, yeah. So if you scroll down, this is a 2-part question.
Oh, my bad. Sorry about that. The correct question 5 was, this is a 2-part question. Name any 2 Digambar Puja rituals that start with the letter A as in Arihant, and the correct answers, 2 out of any of these 3, Abhishek, Ahavan, and Arti.
Abhishek.
Ahavan.
Havan starts with letter H.
Ahavan.
Ahavan. Okay,
A-H-A-V-A-N.
Ahavan.
Yes,
Okay.
my bad. And Arti.
Okay.
Also question 4, I'm sorry, I missed one. Question 4.
Good. Question 4 for that team. In Jainism, Diwali is of utmost importance. What are the 2 phrases people chant during Diwali that relate to Bhagwan Mahavir? And the correct answers are Shri Mahavir Swami Sarvagnaya Namaha and Shri Mahavir Swami Parangataya Namaha.
In JSMC protested, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, we
Chicago
did.
protested for that.
Yep.
Okay.
Chicago protested. Okay, yes.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay.
Then question 8.
Question 8 was, this is a 2-part question. How many prayers are in the Sadguru prayers? And sing the prayer that lists the admirable qualities of the holy teacher. The correct answer was 3, and Atma Jnana Samadarshita, the sutra that starts, or the gata that starts with that line.
Okay. And Siddharth, in coaches meeting, we were told that if there are more than 3 protests, you will give more time.
We will, yes. I'm taking it into account. Yep.
Okay. Thank you, Siddharth.
There's one more protest, question 9.
Question 9 is as follows. This is a 2-part question. How long are the white strings of a charavlo, and what do they symbolize? And the answer I have listed is that they are 8 fingers long, and it is to remind us that we are entrapped in the worldly existence journey of misery because of the 8 main karma.
That is all the protests I have logged.
Yeah.
So we'll open the breakout rooms.
And so you will have more than 2 minutes to discuss, given the number of protests.
Okay, I'm going to pull them back in a minute.
Hi, everyone. We're just going to give the other team a second to get back, and then we will get started.
Harsh, we tell them if you're withdrawing any protests.
Yeah, I have to do it like when the other team comes.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, thank you. Hi, everyone. I think that is everyone in terms of being back in the main room. So we can get started. I'm first going to ask each team if they're withdrawing any protests, and then we will go from there. JSMW, are you withdrawing any protests?
Yeah, we would like to withdraw the one on question 5 for the other team.
Okay.
And the one on question 8 for the other team as well. So we only have one protest.
Okay, sounds good. And JSMC, will you be withdrawing any protests?
No.
Okay, sounds good. Let's get started with team JSMW. Please state the question that you want to protest, and we can take another look at it.
The question 9 for the other team, that Jarovla one.
Mm-hmm.
So should I?
Yeah, sorry, I was going to prompt you.
Okay, so they said it symbolizes the 8 karmas, whereas the real answer was it symbolizes that we are entrapped in the world because of the 8 karmas. So their point was it only symbolizes like the existence, whereas like the actual Charovla symbolizes that it's like we are in this world because of them, not just they exist. And yeah.
Okay, so
sorry, it's our turn to respond to that. So
Oh, yeah.
we're gonna take a second and we'll get back to you. Just give us a second to discuss. Okay, So which team answered that question and which team responded?
The Chicago answered the question and you marked it as right, so then we protested it.
Okay, sounds good. So what we're going to do is accept that protest, that these strings of a trivial do indeed symbolize the entrapment of the worldly existence of misery because of the 8 karma and not simply the karma itself. And we're going to give you the option to steal 10 points on a replacement question. So essentially you will be allowed to earn up to 10 points on a replacement question.
For that question, you know, if you had asked me to elaborate or be more specific, I definitely knew that the 8 karmas was only part of the answer. I would definitely say that we're entrapped because of the 8 karmas. But if you asked me to be a little more specific, I would have said that.
Why didn't you say it in the first place if you knew it?
Let's have the conversation stay between the moderator and the team captain at each point.
Sorry.
Could we have a score check?
We'll do the score check right after we handle the protests. Give us 1 second. Okay, so the final call on this question is that we will accept the protest, and the reason for that is that the question itself was specific enough where that would have been the only answer acceptable. It's not something that had like a 2-layered response. And so for that reason, we are going to remove the points awarded to JSMC for that question and give JSMW that follow-up where they have a chance to earn up to 10 points.
I mean, you know, JAV is all about having the knowledge to answer the question, and I knew what the answer was.
So I think
a matter of elaboration.
I think it should have been given as the initial answer to the question if you did indeed know what the answer was. Again, the reason we're doing this is because the question was specific enough that that answer should have been accepted. It wasn't a vague question where we would ask for clarification as a follow-up to your answer.
Okay, Shreya, end it like while we disagree, we accept it, and let's move on.
Okay.
So after we go through all the protests, then we'll replace and revise that with a replacement question for JSMW. JSMC, I think it's your turn now to talk through your protests.
Okay, so for question number 7, it was what did Mahavishnu respond to Gautam Swami about the nature of the soul? And the team just said equanimity, and that is incorrect because Mahavishnu has stated A2, page 28, that he said the nature of the soul is equanimity. He didn't just say equanimity. Equanimity, he said they answer to 2 questions. It has to be specific to the question that Gautam Swami asked.
Okay, give us a second to discuss. Okay, after review, we agree with that protest and we're going to go ahead and accept that protest.
Can I say something?
Yep.
In JAB, if you kind of want to stall, then you restate the question. I did not restate the question because I knew the answer. That's why I just said equanimity.
So the question wasn't what is the ultimate nature of the soul or what is the ultimate aim of the soul? The question was what was Bhagwan Mahavir's answer?
Yeah,
and so with that in mind, the correct response. So the question was asking what Bhagwan Mahavir's response was, his answer, and his answer is in its entirety was that the ultimate aim of the soul is equanimity.
Could you restate the whole question?
Yes, so it goes, this is a two-part question. Gautam Swami asks, what is the ultimate aim of the soul? What was Bhagwan Mahavir's answer? And then Acharya Kundakund used this question and answer and wrote it in which book?
Okay, so
it was the other question from the other team.
Yeah.
It was what is the nature of soul? And the answer was the nature of soul equanimity. But yeah, same logic applies. So
yeah. Okay.
Wait.
Team.
But I believe that I responded with Mahavir Swami responded with the equanimity.
So the answer, like his response, the sentence he said was the nature of the soul is equanimity. So we're looking for that sentence in its entirety, similar to the alternate question that I just went through. Essentially, it's asking for like the quote from him. Okay. Then we'll move forward with that. So if you can walk through what the point exchange was on that team or for that question.
Sure. So DC got 20 points. We'll remove that and we'll do the same thing that we're doing for DC on the other protest where JSMC will have the opportunity to steal for 10 points with an extra question or a replacement question.
Sorry, I hate to interrupt, but I think for both teams, it's actually only for 5 points because they both got half the question right. So
I'll verify that. Thanks for bringing it up. Yep.
Sounds good. JSMC, do you have another?
Yes, okay. For number 4, please restate the question.
This is a two-part question. In Jainism, Diwali is of utmost importance. What are the 2 phrases that people chant during Diwali? They relate to Bhagwan Mahavir. And here I'd like to make a clarification before we get started. I consulted with the other moderators and came to the conclusion that I misheard the first response. So instead of having that question marked completely incorrectly, your team would receive 10 points for having a partly correct pronunciation. Sarvagnaya was pronounced correctly, Varangataya was not. And then the other team followed up with a complete answer and would receive 5 points.
Honestly, for that one, I tried my best in pronouncing that last part, and that's how I always pronounce it. And it also clearly states in the rules that if the pronunciation doesn't change the meaning, then it would still be correct. And I tried my best in pronouncing it.
I'm sure you did, and I'm not denying that in any which way. I do think that an entire syllable was missing in your response to the second question, and that does change the meaning. And so for that reason, we want to go ahead.
Can I say something?
Sure.
Based on what I heard, this is just based on what I heard. For the first one, she said, Shri Mahavir Swami Sarvagna Namaha.
So we consulted on the admin side, and I think we've made the decision there that 2 out of the 3 of us heard the correct answer. So that's what we're going to run with here.
Okay.
Yeah. So the score will be changed in that scenario so that JSMC gets 10 points for having a partially correct answer, and JSMW gets 5 points for following up with the fully correct answer.
How does what I say have a different meaning?
Well, when you remove entire syllables in words, usually the meanings of their Sanskrit translations will change. So the parangataya, like the part of that was missing in your response. And so for that reason, the word itself has changed.
I don't think it's stated in the manual what I said. It doesn't have a specific meaning in the manual.
I'm sorry, can you explain what you mean by that?
Like what I said, you said it changes the meaning. It doesn't, like, there's no specific meaning of that in the manual.
Harshita, I'll step in real quick.
Yeah.
I think the three of us talked about this and we heard like, what I heard was, and let me check here because I wrote it down. I heard like Parvatanaya, like the whole word was, it was like not close enough to where we could make it out. Generally, we try to be lenient with like one syllable, but it was far enough to where we did not think it was the same word. To your point, whether or not that other, like the JAB manual is not going to have every like, you know, different variation of the word based on one or two syllable changes. So like, we can't sit here and say, yes, it is conclusive that that word exists and means something else. But the fact of the matter is that what we heard was not close enough to the actual correct pronunciation. So it is a moderator discretion. So we're going to move forward with this and decline the protest. But
Okay.
the credit is still there. So that will benefit you a little bit.
Yeah, okay, I understand. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you for being understanding.
Is that the rest of your protests, JSMC? Sounds good. So at this point, what we're going to do is we're going to move on to these extra questions. Each team will get one question and each team will have the chance to redeem some of the points that they could have in the case that they were able to steal the question. Do we have a clarification on the point value that they will be able to steal?
Yeah, Reshma is correct. It will be a total of 5 points. Thanks for clarifying.
Thank you again, Reshma. And so you will get to win back a total of 5 points with these questions. Starting off with Team JSMW, this first question is for you.
Could we have a score check before we start?
Let's just do it after the turn so we have a fully complete score for round one. Is that okay?
Also, Mani, can you turn off your camera just for this question? And Shrishti. Okay, no, never mind.
If both teams can get, sorry, the JSMW, if your team can get your mics on, thank you. Jaina?
Jaina, unmute.
You can keep your camera on, we just need you to unmute. Thank you. Question one, or replacement question one for JSMW. This is a two-part question. Give the synonyms of the following words. Usaggo and Vayavritya.
Kayotserg Vayavacham.
Yeah, my final answer is Kayotserg and Vayavacham.
That is correct for 5 points. Replacement question one for JSMC. This is a two-part question. Give the synonyms of the following words. Dhyan and Sajjao.
Swadhyaya is the
Swadhyaya
next one.
meditation. I prefer to read.
Timekeeper, you're.
I'm sorry.
The timekeeper said time, but she was muted.
Priya, did you say
I'm so sorry. Yeah, that was time. I'm so sorry.
that was, sorry, say that again.
To my team member.
I think she said time prior to that happening. Am I correct? Priya?
We don't know that because if she would have said, and if we would have heard her say answer please, we would have answered faster, right?
It's up to the timekeeper.
I was muted. That's my bad.
Give me 1 second. Give us 1 second. Okay, given that our timer was muted, we will give you a replacement question for the replacement question and give a second chance for you to receive 5 points. Just give us a couple of seconds as we find another replacement question.
Yeah, sure.
And for general clarification, when stealing in round 1, the moderator does not prompt with answer please, they simply say time. So that's just for future reference. You wouldn't be prompted. Okay, Team JSMC, this is your replacement question to your replacement question. Question 1. This is a 2-part question. Name the mother and symbol of the 16th Tirthankar.
The mother is Ajira Devi and the symbol is deer.
That is correct for 5 points. So both teams will receive 5 points on those replacements and score adjustments will be made accordingly. So when you have the chance, if you can please screen share the scores so we can conclude round 1. At the end of the individual team round, JSMC Hrim has 233 points and JSMW-1 DC Dharma Chakras has 274 points.
Harshita, can I just look at that? I'm a little off in the point totals that I was keeping track of. Do you mind?
For sure, we can put that up again.
If I can go to the right a little bit so I could just see it. So for question 4, I'm sorry, that's fine. Sorry.
For question 9, how can they get 10 points? Because there's a total of
sorry, it's a little sloppy on my part. I'll go back at the end and fix it, but I was just putting in the 5 where there was a blank. I thought it was question 9, but I might have flipped it up top. Yeah, so I just flipped these 2. I'll fix it right now. Sorry about that.
No worries.
But the number should be correct. Total number should be right.
Yeah, and I've got a whole bunch of pluses and minuses on my end too, so I can easily have made a mistake too.
No problem. Yep, thanks.
Great, then with that, we will move on to round 2 or the category round. I will ask that everyone pulls their mobile device out so we can get acquainted with the buzzer system. The game code is...
Oh, real quick,
sorry.
JAINA and Arna, you guys can turn your cameras off.
If you want to make your
Reshma,
substitutions, please do that.
Reshma, do what's the lineup?
Oh, yes. 1 second. Yes. The lineup is Shreya, Riday, Haley, Gilles, and Rushil.
Okay. So I should see 10 names on my end. The game code is...
Can you repeat the... okay.
687 617. To repeat it, that's 687 and 617.
I
Okay, so
joined with the
10.
wrong name. Can you rename me?
Really, I can add in your initials, some initials, don't worry.
Yeah, thank you. Sorry.
No worries, no worries. Okay, so same drill as last time. I'm going to say your name. I'll go from one team to the next, and you are going to say your name and stay unmuted, please, for this portion. Shusti from JSMW.
Shashti.
Thank you. Harshri, JSMW.
Jitendra, I'm Harshvi.
Kavya from JSMW.
Janandra and Kavya.
Nice to meet you. Lay from JSMW.
Hi, my name is Lay.
Thank you. And Maneet from JSMW.
Hi, I'm Manith.
Sounds good. JSMC, Jill.
Janandra, I'm Jill.
Thank you. Shreya from JSMC.
Janandra, I'm Shreya.
Haley from JSMC.
Hey, Janandra, I'm Haley.
Thank you. Hriday from JSMC.
Janandra, I'm Hriday.
Great. And Rushil from JSMC.
Janandra, I'm Rushil.
Perfect. I think we are good to get started. Let's head over into round 2. Round 2 is the category round. Rushil, sorry, if you can come off mute.
Yeah, sorry, I was changing my audio settings. My volume was a little low.
You're okay. Round 2 is the category round, and there are 15 questions in this round, and buzzing is allowed. The first team responding can get plus 20 points or minus 20 points, and the second team, if they choose to respond following an incorrect answer from the first team, can get plus 10 points or minus 10 points. The category for the first 5 questions is Bhagwan Mahavir Swami. Question 1. On what day did Bhagwan Mahavir take Diksha? Shreya from JSMC.
The answer is 10th day in the dark half in the month of Makshad.
That is correct for 20 points. Question 2. When did Bhagwan Mahavir attain Keval Gyan? Kavya from Team JSMW.
So this would be the 10th day of the bright half of the month of Vaishak.
That is correct for 20 points. Question 3. On the outskirts of which village did Bhagwan Mahavir? Kavya from Team JSMW.
Jamani.
That is correct for 20 points. The question reads, on the outskirts of which village did Bhagwan Mahavir's last calamity occur? Question 4. At what age did Vardhaman attain upper? Shreya from JSMC. Sorry, can you say that again?
The answer is 28.
That is correct for 20 points. The full question reads, at what age did Vardhaman attain upper Grihatva? Question 5. During what year after initiation did Maneet from Team JSMW?
In his second year.
That is incorrect. After initiation, did Bhagwan Mahavir enter the city of Kaushambi and meet Chandanbala? Shreya from Team JSMC.
12th year.
That is correct for 10 points. So Team JSMW will receive minus 20 points and Team JSMC will receive plus 10 points. Question 6. The category for the next 5 questions is Acharya Stulibhadra. Question 6. Who was the king of the Nanda dynasty?
Time.
Time has been called. The correct answer was King Dhananand. And no points will be awarded for that question. Question 7. This is a 2-part question. What was the name of Shaktal's 2 sons? Shreya from Team JSMC.
Tulibhadra and Shreya.
That is correct for 20 points. Question 8. What was the demand that Gosha made to the monk? Jill from Team JSMC.
To get a diamond-studded garment from. To get a diamond-studded garment.
That is correct for 20 points.
Harshvi protested.
Harshvi. I would like to protest that.
Sounds good. We will log in a protest for that question, question 8, on behalf of JSMW. Question 9. Where did Stulibhadra stay during the monsoon? Harshvi from Team JSMW.
He stayed at Kosha's house.
That is correct for 20 points.
Sir, can you protest that? Yeah, protest.
Sure, we'll put in a protest on behalf of JSMC for question 9.
Excuse me, can you finish the question?
Yes, where did Sulibhadra stay during the monsoon season? Question 10. After leaving Kosha for the first time, which acharya did he? Shreya from Team JSMC?
The answer is Acharya Sambhuti.
That is correct for 20 points. The full question reads, after leaving Kosha for the first time, which acharya did he go to? And the answer was Acharya Sambhuti Vijay. The category for the next 5 questions is puja rituals. Question 11. In the Indian language only, what is another name for Chandan Puja? Jio from JSMC?
Another name for Chandan Puja would another name for Chandan Puja would be
time.
Basic
Time was
Puja.
called. The other team would like to steal.
Did you finish the question?
It was complete. The question was completed.
Time.
Time was called. The answer was Samsar Tap Vinashanaya. And to repeat the question for everyone's sake, in the Indian language only, what is another name for Chandan Puja? So Team JSMC will receive minus 20 points for that question. Question 12. In the Indian language only, what is another name for Naivedya Puja? Kavya from Team JSMW?
Shuddharog Vinashanaya.
That is correct for 20 points. Question 13. The rituals performed, especially at the time of new temple opening, temple anniversary, to celebrate Harshri from Team JSMW?
Natra Puja.
That is incorrect. To celebrate what someone's special penance like Varshitap, etc. are called what? Shreya from Team JSMC?
Pujans.
That is correct for 10 points. So Team JSMW will receive minus 20 points and Team JSMC will receive plus 10 points. Question 14. Name the Indian Dastrik for meditation. Shreya from Team JSMC?
The answer is Pranidhan.
That is correct for 20 points. Question 15. Generally, this pujan is performed for peace and to keep. Shreya from Team JSMC?
The answer is Shanti Snatra Pujan.
That is correct for 20 points. And that concludes round 2, or the category round of the match. What we will do now is revisit any questions that had protests and then send you into breakout rooms to discuss those with your teams. Team JSMW, we can start with yours. Sid, if you can give me the question numbers, please.
Yes, question 8.
Question 8, who was the king of the Nanda dynasty? And the answer was King Dhananand.
We never protested.
That was question 6.
It was what was the demand that Gosha made to the monk that came after Acharya?
Yeah, my bad. And the answer was get a diamond-studded garment.
And question 9.
Question 9 was where did Sulibhadra stay during the monsoon season? And the answer is Gosha's picture gallery.
Wait, what was the answer?
Gosha's picture gallery.
Did you mark that correct or incorrect?
We marked that correct.
Wait, what did we answer?
Kosha's house.
The other team protested. Okay.
Yeah.
Any other protests in this round?
That was all of them. So they can go and discuss, and then they'll have 2 minutes.
Wait, I didn't get a request to go to the breakout room.
Sorry, yes, let me sign you. There you go. Sorry, didn't mean to cut you off.
No. I didn't realize I was reading the wrong question. I was like, what am I doing?
I would just say, like, with the protest, like, try to keep the conversations a little short. Feel free to say, like, this is our final decision, we're going with it, because we are getting close to the 2 o'clock time.
Yeah.
I just closed the room, so I should be back in a minute.
Sounds good.
શું બોલી રહી હતી તું મને કઈ સંભળાયું જ નહીં યાર તું ઉપરથી બૂમો
Megha,
પાડે છે તો
you're unmuted.
You're unmuted.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, I think both teams are back. Give us 1 second. Okay, are there any protests that will be withdrawn? I will take that as a no. JSMW, if you want to go ahead with your first protest.
I believe their person on their team said they will they will get what am I trying to say? A diamond-studded garment from, and then she stopped and she said a diamond-studded garment again. But part of the deal or the condition was that it had to be from Nepal because the monk is a monk, and during monsoon season you're supposed to stay in one place. But Nepal is a completely different place, so that was part of the condition. So not including that would like change the entire condition, because the monk could have gotten it from like a store nearby or something, but instead he went to Nepal. So yeah.
That's fair. I think the response we're going to give is that the response given was still correct. He did have to get a diamond-studded garment. And so for that reason, we're going to deny that protest and consider the response given as correct.
But the Nepal part was important because monks are not supposed to travel during monsoon season. So the whole thing was that he had to travel because of Kosha's beauty. So he broke his vow. So that's the whole condition thing. Not including that would just mean that he like went to a house next door or something. Because like the garment part doesn't matter. It's the whole fact that he's traveling somewhere else. And yeah.
We're going to stand with the ruling that we consider that answer to be sufficient, and we're just going to move on. That's the decision taken on behalf of the moderators and admin team. Was that your only protest, JSMW?
Yeah.
Sounds good. JSMC?
So they said for one of the questions, they said Gosha's house, and that is too big of an answer. That's like saying Chicago as of Illinois, and there are specific pictures in the picture gallery that Storybrother had refrained from, so you can't just say Gosha's house.
So in this case, similar ruling where we consider Kosha's house to be a sufficient answer within the context of the question. And for that reason, we're going to do the same thing where we deny the protest and keep the points as such.
Could you re-say the question?
Yeah, it said, where did Storybrother stay during the monsoon season? And the picture gallery was within her house. And so we're going to accept Kosha's house as the answer in this case. It was specific enough by our means of sufficiency. So for that reason, both protests will be denied and both teams will retain the points they either lost or kept during that time. Okay, that is the conclusion of round 2. If we can get a quick score check before heading into round 3. At the end of round 2, JSMC Hrim has 373 points and JSMW has 314 points.
Rashida, before we move into round 3, I have a request, and you can definitely deny it, but I think would it be possible to go back in a breakout room for one minute or 2 minutes just with our team? If we were playing in person, we would have a chance to kind of refresh with them and just calm them down a little bit. I think it's just been a lot of protests going back and forth, and I just want to make sure both sides of the teams are calm and ready to play round 3.
Sorry, could you repeat the score real quick, just before I proceed?
The score was 373, 314. And Reshma, to your point, I think we can do a quick 20 seconds. We just want to be mindful of time because there's a match.
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. I'll open the breakout rooms, but please just be prompt. And yes, thanks for the suggestion.
think everyone is back. With that, I hope
Arna and
everyone...
Jaina, you can turn your cameras off.
Can I be in?
With that, we're going to go ahead and get started with round 3. Prior to that, if teams want to make any substitutions, please do that now and let me know who you're taking out and who you're putting in.
Harshita, I got kicked out and now my name's just Hriday. And then there's a JSMC Hriday too.
I'll change it. I got you.
Arna, you need to turn
Arna.
your camera off.
Thank you. Reshma, am I playing this round?
Hold on just a second, Mida. I'm gonna say it. Okay, so for Mukesh, please correct me if I'm wrong because I just wrote this down quickly. The players are going to be Shreya, Hriday, Gio, and then who are the last two? I'm sorry.
Okay. It will be Shreya, Hriday, Jill, Helly, and Dhruvi.
Dhruvi, I think you need the game code.
Yeah.
And it's 687 617. Great. And go ahead and say your name.
Dhruvi Jain.
Mike works well. Thank you. And JSMW, you have the 5 following players in Shrishti, Harshvi, Kavya, Lay, and Maneet. Sounds good. Then we're good to get started with round 3. This is round 3, or the grab back round. There are 15 questions in this round and buzzing is allowed. The first team to respond can get plus 20 points or minus 10 points. And if they answer incorrectly and the second team chooses to answer, they can get plus 10 points and minus 5 points. Question 1. What are the 6 schools of thought JSMC Shreya?
Bad Darshan.
That is correct for 20 points.
First, can you protest?
I protest.
Sounds good. The full question reads, what are the 6 schools of thought prevalent in India collectively known as? And the answer is Shad Darshan. Question 2. Who said the following quote? We are prone to look... Shreya from Team JSMC.
Percy Shelley.
That is correct for 20 points. The question reads, we are prone to look before and after and pine for what is not. Question 3. Name a Nokashai Charitra Mohaniyakam. Lay from Team JSMW.
Hasya.
That is incorrect. That starts with the letter S. Haley from Team JSMC.
Redid.
That is correct for 10 points. So Team JSMW will receive minus 10 points and Team JSMC will receive plus 10 points. Question 4. How many Ashubh subtypes are there for the Mohaniya karma? Maneet from JSMW.
Okay, so the answer to this question is 24.
That is correct for 20 points.
You protest, Shreya?
Protest.
Launch a protest on question 4 on behalf of JSMC. Question 5. Who said Pramat Yogat Shreya from Team JSMC?
Acharya Umaswati.
That is correct for 20 points. The complete question reads, who said Pramat Yogat Pran Vyaparopanam Himsa in reference to what?
Wait, can you say the question again? Sorry.
Yes, it reads, who said Pramat Yogat Pran Vyaparopanam Himsa?
In reference to what? I think you said it.
Give me 1 second. Let me get a clarification on this question. Okay, so the question actually ends at right after who said that question. And so again, the full question reads, who said Pramat Yogat Pran Vyaparopranam Himsa? And the answer was Acharya Umaswati. It was a one-part question and they answered it correctly.
Then,
Okay.
Do we get a score check?
Yes.
And also, I can hear a lot of like background noise of knocking. I don't know what that's about.
I think it's on my behalf. I can see what I can do about it. Give me 1 second.
While she does that, the current score is 443 for Chicago and 324 for DC.
Okay, let's try to continue, and if the noise returns and if it's too much, then maybe we can find an alternate solution. Moving forward, question 6.
Reset, please.
Yep. Question 6. Name a Bayatap that starts with the letter K. Manit from Team JSMW.
Kaya Klesh.
That is correct for 20 points. Question 7. This is a 3-part question. How many Tirthankars did not get married according to the Shwetam? Kavya from Team JSMW.
2.
That is incorrect. It's per the Shwetambar tradition. What are their Jill from Team JSMC?
That would be 2 Tirthankars, and their names would be Naminath, and the other name would be Malinath.
That is also incorrect. The full question reads, according to the Shwetambar tradition, what are the names of the one who was born in the same place as their Diksha place, and what is this person's birthplace? So the correct complete answer is 2, Malinath and Mithila. JSMW. Sure. Who said that? JSMC? Okay,
Yeah.
JSMC will log in a protest on question 7. But up till now, for that question, JSMW will receive -10 points and JSMC will receive -5 points for 2 incorrect answers. Question 8. This is a 3-part question. What places do you do puja on an idol when you say these lines? Answer in the order asked. 1. Mangala Nam Cha Savesim. 2. Namo Ayariyanam. And 3. Namo Loe Sava. Harshri from Team JSMW.
Okay, so my answer is the chest, the forearms, and the last one is the top of the head.
That is correct for 20 points. Question 9. What type of satya is usually done during Akshat Puja? Lay from Team JSMW.
Endeavor.
That is correct for 20 points. Question 10. This is a 2-part question. What are the names of the 9th Baldev and Vasudev? Shreya from Team JSMC.
The answer is that the 9th Vasudev was Krishna and the 9th Baldev was Balaram.
That is correct for 20 points.
Can
Question
you finish the
11.
question?
And give
Oh,
us
yes.
some
This is a 2-part question. What are the names of the 9th
Can we get
Baldev and Vasudev?
a point check at the end of question 10?
Yes, please. I'll just finish the question. Question 10 reads in its entirety. This is a 2-part question. What are the names of the 9th Baldev and Vasudev per Jain tradition? And the answer was Balaram and Shri Krishna. And we can do a score check at this point. The end of the 10th question, JSMC Hrim has 478 points and JSMW has 354 points. Moving forward, we'll do a verbal score check after each following question. Question 11. This is a 2-part question. Name 2 things that Rohiniya heard from Bhagwan Nag. Shreya from Team JSMC.
The heavenly beings don't have shadows, and the heavenly beings don't have, their feet don't touch the ground.
Protest.
That is correct for 20 points.
I would like to protest that.
and we will launch a protest on behalf of JSMW on question 11. The complete answer was complete question was name two things that Rohini heard from Bhagwan Mahavir about the heavenly beings, and possible answers included: their feet do not touch the ground, their eyes remain steady, their bodies are without a shadow, and their garlands do not wither. Question 12. Who was King Samprathi's father? Harshri from Team JSMW.
King Kunal.
That is correct for 20 points. Name the temple that has Tirthankar Neminath. Shreya from Team JSMC.
The temple is Lungavasai.
That is correct for 20 points.
Protest.
Can you go a little slow, please?
Yep. Protest from Team JSMW on question 13.
Can you please repeat that question?
The question was, name the temple that has Tirthankar Neminath Bhagwan's Samavasaran carved in. I didn't get to finish the question. And the answer was Lunagavasahi temple. Question 14. What was the name of Dharmgiri's wife? Lay from Team JSMW.
Sunanda.
That is correct for 20 points. And question 15, and the final question of the match. What is the Ashtamangal that represents the four desks? Shreya from Team JSMC.
The answer is the swastika.
That is correct for 20 points. And that concludes this round. So same thing here, we can go through any questions that need to be protested and then put you in your room so you get a chance to talk to your teams.
Can you give us the questions? You're muted, Harshit.
Can we come back to the main room so we can go through what the questions
Yes,
were?
I was just saying, give me 1 second, we can get that sorted out. I think we'll bring you back. Yeah. Sid, if we can close the rooms.
I did, but there's a timer on it. I'll just broadcast a message telling them to come back.
Okay.
Sorry about that. They should be coming back soon.
That was only 1 minute.
We
Yeah.
we didn't go through the questions. We'll do that first, and we'll send you back. Sorry about that.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Okay.
So I'll walk through the questions that were protested. The first protest was from DC. It was question number 1 for this round, and the question was, what are the 6 schools of thought prevalent in India, collectively known as? Their answer is Shad Darshan. We called that correct for Chicago. The next protest was from JSMC on question 4. How many Ashubh subtypes are there for Mohaniya Karma? The correct answer is 24.
Siddharth, can you repeat the question?
Yes, question 4. How many Ashubh subtypes of Mohaniya Karma are there?
Okay.
Yes, and the answer received was 24. Question 7. This is a 3-part question. How many Tirthankars did not get married according to the Shwetambar tradition? The next part is, what are the names of the one who was born in the same place as their Diksha? And the last part is, what is this person's birthplace? The correct answers are 2, and then Malinath, because Malinath was born in the same place as the Diksha place, and the birthplace of Malinath was Mithila. There was a protest from Chicago on that. Question 11. This is a two-part question. Name two things that Rohiniya heard from Bhagwan Mahavir about the heavenly beings. The answers include their feet do not touch the ground, their eyes remain steady, their bodies are without a shadow, and their garlands do not wither. Any two of these were acceptable, and we had a protest from DC. Question 13. Question 13.
Go ahead, sorry.
Name the temple that has Tirthankar Neminath Bhagwan Samvasaran carved in. The correct answer is Lunag Vasahi Temple. We marked it correct for Chicago, and DC protested. I will actually, so 3 protests from DC and 2 from Chicago.
Can you just repeat one more time from the 3-part question, the second part?
Yes, no problem. Let me find it again. This is a 3-part question. How many Tirthankars did not get married according to Shwetambar tradition? The answer is 2. The next part is, what are the names of the one who was born in the same place as their Diksha? This is Malinath. Neminath did not. And then what is this person's birthplace? Malinath's birthplace was Mithila.
Did I hear you? What are the names of in plural?
What are the names of the one?
So it is what is the name, right? When you say what are the names, it automatically makes it a plural.
The reason we write it that way is because we don't want to give away the first part, which is 2. If I said, what is the name of the one, that it implies that we're only looking for one answer of the 2 and not potentially multiple answers. So we write it in such a way that it is not giving away the answer for another part.
But if you buzz at names, then it's still deceiving you, right? You would think name the 2.
That changes the entire meaning.
Yeah. If the grammar was right and it was 1, then we know that there's going to be a third part to the question.
It should be taken as a purposefully misguiding.
Okay. Also, we want to keep it between moderators and coaches. So, or excuse me, moderators.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry. I want to keep it standard and fair.
Yeah, sure.
We can review it. The reason, again, the specific reason we do that is because it is the burden of the player to understand, to know how many Tirthankars did not get married. If we say what is the name of the one, we're implying that there's only 2, and that can give away the answer. It's a very small thing, but it's why we write it that way. You can discuss it with your group. Both teams got the answer wrong, and that's how we marked it. But you can take it to the breakout room. I'll give both teams 3 minutes. We are running way over time, so please keep it concise and really only protest the ones that you genuinely feel should be protested.
Okay.
Siddharth, also
I have a question. You can
Wait 1 minute.
Siddharth, I just needed to have the score check again. If you could just show that screen, I can quickly tally because I was seeing some variation in that. So,
okay.
If you don't mind, sorry.
Well, yeah, that's fine. I'll also open the rooms and then you can stay back and then join once you've done that. Actually, sorry, you're a coach. It wouldn't make any sense. Yeah, let me share my screen.
Thank you. Yeah, could you just, yeah, that's good. And if you scroll down. Thank you.
Okay.
You go right a little bit. Sorry, I can see the other JSMW score. Okay, thank you.
Yes. Okay, I'll open the rooms. Please keep it concise and we'll see you back and address protests. Thank you. just close the room. They should be back in a minute.
Now that both teams are back, we can go ahead and address protests. Let's start with JSMW if you would like to go through what you had protested initially.
So for the first question, one second. We're gonna withdraw that one.
Okay, sounds good. The protest on question 1 has been withdrawn. Anything else from your team?
What question was it that they are withdrawing?
The protest on Shad Darshan.
Okay.
Yeah.
And can you go through the ones that we still have protested? I just want to make sure.
Versus, you want me to do it?
I can do it too if you can give me the question numbers.
Oh, okay. Question 11.
Yeah. Question 11 was, this is a two-part question. Name two things that Ronia heard from Bhavan Mavir about the heavenly beings.
Oh, yeah.
About that, so in the Jain manual, I'm pretty sure it lists that the heavenly beings' feet don't touch the ground as one bullet point. And then in the next bullet point, it has 3 different things that he heard. So you're supposed to give, like, it's technically 2 answers, but in the second answer, it has like 3 things listed in it. So they all should come together.
So like you said, there are 3 things listed in the second answer, but we asked for 2 things. So it says simply name 2 things that Ronia heard from Bhagwan Mavir about the heavenly beings. And so those were given.
Yeah, but like the Chicago protest in the first one, and I said, like, when I didn't say that equanimity is the true nature of the soul or whatever, that was the full sentence by Lord Mavir.
Mm-hmm. So it's not asking to say what Mavir Swami said to Ronia. It's asking for 2 things that he heard about heavenly beings specifically. There's no request here for a specific quote or exchange of words between the 2. Versus in your cases, there's a quote that was specified and then there was a quote that was requested.
Okay, what was the next question we protested?
Said if I can have a question.
Question 13.
Question 13 was name the temple that has Tirthankar Neminath Bhagwan's Samavasar carved in.
Oh yeah, so she had some really weird pronunciation. She said like Lunga. I don't even know how she said the last word. I was just so confused. That was like completely off the actual pronunciation of Lunag Vasahi.
So from what I remember, and the reason I marked it as correct was because I heard what sounded like the answer. I think the way I've been pronouncing it is Lunaga Vasahi temple, and I think it ends at Lunag, like you said, but it matches the spelling given here. And so we're going to accept that pronunciation as correct. From my perspective, it was close enough to the answer, if not exactly equivalent to the answer from what I heard.
Okay.
Okay. That is
we
all.
had one last protest, right?
No, those
Which
were all.
one?
We had a protest.
Yeah.
Yep. So that'll be it for JSMW. JSMC, if you want to go ahead with your protest.
So for the number of ashub, on page 119, it specifically says that there's 28 types of ashub.
On what page did you say?
119.
Can I say something really quick?
1 second, let us respond first.
Okay.
So the correct answer to that question is 24. There is one statement that says that some consider all 28 as ashub, but the way that the answer is given by the manual is that there are 24 subtypes. So we're going to go ahead and deny that protest. Anything else on your side, JSMC?
We withdraw the Dunkers one about.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, the third Dunkers protest is withdrawn. And is that all for you? Sounds good. Then we are looking to conclude the match. Sid, if you would like to put up the final scores, and we can say them for the last time. To conclude this, JSMC Hrim ended with 518 points, and JSMW concluded with 414 points. Well played by both teams, and congratulations to JSMC for winning the match. Thank you again to all participants for the time and effort you put into practicing as well as playing today. It was very entertaining for all of us, and we're so proud to see how much you learned along the way. And with that, we will see you hopefully in future competitions or around at other JAINA programming. Thank you, and JJNinda, everyone.
Thank you, Jain.
Thank you.
Good game.
Good job.
You
Good
guys
game
did
to
good. Good game.
JSMW. Very good game, but you played well.
Bye.
Good luck on your next game if you have a next game. Bye.
Yeah, 518 to 414. Yeah. Well, hold on.
Cool. Y'all are done.
Do you want to turn the recording off?